Hi, this is Vincent Ambrosetti, the publisher of International Liturgy Publications, with reason number 7 of 10 compelling reasons to use ILP sacred resources. Folks, one of the wonderful things about ILP hymnals is not only does each hymnal have first edition without lectionary readings, each hymnal also offers the option of the hymnal with the full 3-year cycle of lectionary readings for Sundays, feasts, and solemnities, and each hymnal offers the SATB edition or the choral edition for the choir with beautiful harmonizations. Now, not only that, but I want to suggest to you that, honestly, the books that have the lectionary readings within them can be very, at times, heavy and large, and maybe even provide a challenge to fit into the pews of the church. If I were a pastor of a Catholic parish, I would choose rather to get a hymnal, and instead of getting the hymnal with the lectionary readings, that is an option, because a lot of people like the one book solution, right? But I believe that what makes more sense is to alternate in the pews a hymnal and a missal, and a hymnal and a missal, and a hymnal and a missal. Why? Well, first of all, not everyone picks up the book when you're singing a hymn. Not everyone picks up the book when you're following the readings. Some theologians and liturgists actually encourage just listening to the readings. However, I'm going to say, as an educator for years and years, that we know that looking at the words is helpful to those who are hearing impaired. Looking at the words is helpful for more than 80% increased comprehension and more than 90% increased retention, remembering what just was proclaimed. So there are very good reasons to have these resources at the hands of, the accessibility of the faithful. But I believe that combining a hymnal with a missal, for example, this in a parish outside of the college in Statesboro, it's Georgia Southern, I believe, right? Well, they have the Book of Divine Worship and the St. Augustine hymnal. Some cathedrals have Credo and the Book of Divine Worship. Some parishes have Credo and Word of the Lord as a combined set, and some parishes also in their individual, let's call it weekday chapel. Some people refer to it as a daily chapel, but it's really the weekday chapel if it's separate. We have a 2-book set called the Book of Sacred Liturgy Weekday Edition, or the Book of Sacred Liturgy, which includes a more limited number of hymns and select orders within Eucharist. But always know that there are so many options. For example, some parishes have Word and Eucharist and a hymnal. Why do they do that? Because Word and Eucharist includes musical settings for the propers, the introit or entrance antiphon and the communion antiphon. But the beauty of matching up a missal, for example, with the Revised Grail, and a hymnal, is you can see that the books are much smaller, much more manageable, and the greatest bonus of all is that if you use Word of the Lord as the companion missal, remember that it's large print, and people can more easily read the large print. Now here are the benefits. Of course, protecting the environment, God's creation, and of course, having books that are more manageable, of course having books that are easier to fit into the pews, having books that are identifiable even by color or shade. Even if you're colorblind, you can see that all of our hymnals are black and all of our missals are various colors, so you can distinguish just by glancing at the pew which is which. And one of the best reasons of all, dear pastor, father, is that according to your budget, the best way to buy the books is as a set, because there is a lower set price when you buy a hymnal without the lectionary readings and a missal that's a standalone large print or a standalone with musical settings. I do want to remind you that every one of our lectionaries, be it in the book or outside the book, in a standalone resource, includes the propers. Not just the readings, not just the psalm itself, of course, with the verses and the gospel acclamations, but also the entrance and the communion antiphons. Every book is built that way. All wonderful reasons to use ILP sacred resources. This is number 7 of 10 compelling reasons to use ILP sacred resources. May God bless you.